In case you missed the last video, we actually got our Slicktop running and we did a little bit of work over here getting the timing kit done on Blade and Z, but we ran out of parts because we had to take the valve covers off, yada yada. Well, let's just say we're in the rabbit hole now. So later that evening, we actually had two more Z's come in. We have this 1996, one of the last 300 that is technically brand new in my eyes. This thing has 60,000 miles on it and it is gorgeous. So we're gonna have to jam out this car in this video to get it ready so he can have it ready to go for sorry, I'm way too ahead of myself. Z Nationals next week. We also have another Z over here that even has lower miles. It's 59,000. And he's in for a 120K timing kit as well as just a little check over to make sure everything is good to go and recommendations and whatnot. But here, since we got our Slicktop running, we're actually about to get it running again so we can drive it to church about 30 minutes away. Let's get this thing all fixed up. I really need to check to see if my discount code still works with these guys, but I tell you what, the past 6 months, I've been using this thing to air up Gabby's tire every day before we finally figured out it was a cracked rim. This thing is a lifesaver. You can get at least 5 to 8 tires out of this on a full charge. We were airing up from like no PSI too. We're only airing up to like 30 PSI because my tires are super old. You would hate to see the 350Z 7-spoke wheel on the other side. You would tell me I'm an idiot. Yeah. Probably 2 minutes later from that fully dead tire, we have 30 PSI. I mean, if you ask me, that's not bad for something you can just hook up and forget about. I like it even more that you can just put it on your desired setting and leave it. We actually need to grab another turn signal so we can drive it. And I guess I have just the donor over here. Got an old crusty, rusty screw. Definitely got to pop and swap that. Still can't believe I had someone steal this from me while I was at Texas Roadhouse. Like, come on, man. Let me eat in peace. It's kind of a large side mount issue, but the turn signals usually need to be cut across here, flopped, and epoxied so you can still kind of use it. And it'd be over here instead of here. Guess we'll be back in just a second. That was a terrible process. We're definitely gonna have to modify a set of these because I'm not a fan of how that fits. With one step left to get this thing running. Oh, I guess I got another screw up here. But we've got one more step up here, and that is to connect the negative terminal. Cover that post up, even though it don't matter. We're just driving it for a little bit. Let's see if we can get this thing to fire up. There we go. You just gotta groan loud enough. Yes. Well, we're just gonna let this thing fully warm up. Wow, cool. It's actually 64. It's a little bit warmer than it is outside, assuming because it's, you know, inside the area or the bay area and it's insulated. But let's let it warm up. We always want to let it get to operating temp, which is at least 100 degrees when your needle starts to move up. But I prefer like a 120 before I start driving it. So we'll be back in just a moment. I may be a little late, but we persevered. We made it all the way over here, and unfortunately, we have some serious suspension work to do. I think we got some flat spots on the tires from letting this thing sit so long, and it constantly shakes. Like every 5-10 seconds, it does like a little shake in the wheel, then it's gone. Like it's nothing where I can't drive it anymore. Oh, here's Dad and Grandpa. But it's good enough for Eric to come pick it up and for us to actually, you know, go on with all the body work and get this thing painted. So let's head back home. First, we're gonna grab a Celsius to give us a little bit of up and up. We're gonna go meet old Randy Leahy because he's finally coming through to pick up his twin turbo motor. I really need to pull this motor out so we can replace the turbo lines. We still got ball bearing feeds when we need to get the journal bearings. Or maybe I should put my G6X's. I don't know. You guys tell me. Does this go in this or does it go in a beater to have some fun with the Mopar guys and make them upset? And we just blew something off. We officially cannot drive. We're getting like 10 AFRs, and I'm gonna have to say we popped the hose, we popped a coupler. I'm really just hoping we did not pop the block off plug down here, because what in the world am I gonna do? And, well, they're both in place. Oh, wow. We blew a blowout. What? How does that even happen? Well, at least it's something simple and it totally makes sense, but wow, that doesn't make sense. How does that happen? Let's fix this up because we're kind of on the side of the highway. We'll be back after I facepalm. We made it back. We managed to get the spring clip back on with a flathead, not even a flathead, a Phillips, and a 10 mil wrench. Will it start? Hey, there we go. Now we just got to stay out of boost on the way home. We'll be back momentarily after I get a little bit of relief. We're back. We're here in the shop, and we actually want to give a huge shout out to Mike, or as some of you guys may know, Randy Leahy, or 98 Koki in the comments on YouTube. Came by, picked up a turbo motor. Not only did he help me out and get some bills paid, but he actually hooked me up with not only a bunch of shop supplies, but he gave me a bunch of GoPro gadgets here. So for this video, we're actually going to try some of this out. What I want to do, when we do this 120K timing kit over here, we're going to hook you guys up on a chest mount. So I'm pretty sure I have a couple of these that Gabby got me, but I misplaced them in the move. Sorry, babe. But we're going to use this guy right here. We'll clean it up a little bit and we'll mount you guys up and give you kind of a POV version of doing this 120K timing kit. Has 60,500 miles, 1996, and it is an absolute beauty. Never have I ever seen fuel lines that are actually zinced, and it's just so crisp and so nice. He actually found me over here on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. I know they watch my videos. Him and his son came by, super cool people. And they're giving me the opportunity to get this Z done so they can actually drive it down to Z Nationals here in the next week. So not only is this Z incredibly clean, don't know how well you'll be able to see it here, but right there is one of the last 300 ZXs, one of the last 300 ZXs here in the States. So it's one of the commemorative editions, and this thing is sweet. His dad actually bought it brand new back in '96, and now he's got it. So we're going to give this thing all the love that it deserves and give it the full one over and refresh. So let's get you guys mounted up and let's get started. We got the radiator draining down in the drain pan. We're just going to get started removing the radiator brackets. When I got under this thing, everything is zinc coated and it is absolutely beautiful. I'll show you later. That was an absolute pain in the butt. Holy cow. I busted my knuckles so badly. Hopefully this side is not as bad. I absolutely forgot that you do not have to loosen one of them because they're couplers. Definitely not something that I'm used to. Oh, there we go. They sure are stuck. So I'm not really happy with how the chest mount fits on me. I gotta figure something out, like wearing a sweatshirt or something. It's just not appropriate size for me. Let's just do a little montage of pulling off all of the rest of our parts to get this ready to get timed. So now it's starting to make sense why we found this in the engine bay earlier. So it looks like we've actually shredded a rib. So if you look here on the inside, we're definitely missing some. This should be a 4-rib belt, and we're only a 3-rib belt right now. Ripped my scab off my finger. Not happy about that one. I was wondering why I was hurting for a second. Let her drain. Okay, we do have a thermostat. I was a little worried for a second. Leverage, mile, and friend. Jack handle trick. Let's get this crank pulley off. 5th gear, chalk, should be easy. Yeah, simple. Work smarter, not harder. Steering wheel pullers hooked up. I already knew this crank pulley is going to come off pretty stinking easy considering everything else has been pretty nice. I just want to get all this stripped down, go in, go to bed, come out here, fresh start, and get her done tomorrow. It's just been a different kind of experience here, being so careful with everything. Now we get to do what I've been waiting for quite some time. Removing the lower timing cover so we can get this water pump off. There we go. Because basically on your later years, you have that thing that covers the whole bottom, so you kind of want it to come off the crank a little bit easier. A couple love taps. Self-adjusted water pump flow. And since this is a 1996, there's no spring behind here because there is no VTC. And the main reason I wanted to take this one off so I can throw the impact on it, because this one will pop off a top dead center if I do it otherwise. Just going to put a little stopper bolt in the tensioner so it doesn't flop when we take it off. Since we're at like 1 degree away from top dead center, I'm just going to put this crank pulley on, snug that bolt up a little with a couple little punches, and then we're going to spin it back. We're just going to rotate this line back roughly to its alignment point. And just like that, we're perfectly lined up all across the board. We're about as centered across all of our timing marks. Now we can loosen the tensioner and remove our belt. Yeah, I know, sorry, I'm kind of in the how-to process right now, even though I said I'm not going to. Really just want to make all this as clear as possible for you guys, because I still get messages on the daily about just affirmation and doing this, because there's so many steps and so many ways to kind of get confused or just goof up. So I don't blame you for asking questions. It's kind of a big deal. I sold one of my favorite Z's because I was too afraid to do this job. I got to do my due diligence to keep these things on the road if I love them as much as I do. Four hose clamp. Not used to that coupler style, I'll tell you what. If you do pry against the gear, make sure you use the thick inside part of the gear, not the lip on the outer edge. It could damage it. Ask me how I know. As much as I want to change the cam seals tonight just to get them out the way, I'll probably just wait till the morning. I really don't want to have to goof nothing up, or not really that. I just kind of like to have a clean slate to start on, you know? You know, there's something I haven't checked yet that I really want to check. Let's slide this crank. Okay. It's moving. I think we're going to get that bad boy off without having to cut it. That'll be so much better. So much time will be saved. But we'll catch you guys first thing tomorrow when we come back out here and we can tackle this, especially when all this coolant kind of drains out, and then we can reseal that water pump. Catch you then. All right, so it's the next day. Unfortunately, it's just not been my day today. I mean, it was in the morning. Stuff happens, man. I'm just sick to my stomach. I've got a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress right now. Nothing pertaining to this job. And yes, we did go ahead and put nearly everything back together. I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I found out, a way that you can actually tighten your intake cams or cam gears without having to actually, you know, do the whole nine. By the whole nine, sorry, I'm just so not in it right now. But by that, I mean taking the plenum off, taking the valve covers off, putting a wrench on the cam like we did over here on this Z. You really don't have to. Just the way we got it right now, we actually torqued this down. So on top of having this all set up and hanging off of this bolt so it doesn't spin, basically I use 2 sets of vice grips, since this is the old belt, it's not the new one. This one was going in the trash. And make that as tight as we can, so as we turn it, all of these teeth are locked in on each other and they actually cannot spin, and therefore you can get that 90 to 95 foot-pounds on your intake cam gears. Basically my feng shui has been taken from me today, because I know it's not his fault. He's just burnt because Randall Smith burned him more or less on an engine and a bunch of stuff. Just bought a car that was toast because someone, you know, prettied it up and buttered it up to make it pass along, and well, just became a can of worms. So I tried to help him out, give him a pretty good deal. He got second opinions and he wants to return it. And the issue is I kind of already spent it on bills because I've been hurting pretty bad, and now I got to come back up with it, and I just was not prepared for that. So we got to make something happen. It's not like I'm blaming anyone. Really, it's my fault. I shouldn't have paid my bills yet and just kind of held on to the cash. I know the engine's good. It's whatever, but we're going to prove that once the time comes around. I just don't have the gumption in me right now to film. It has taken absolutely everything for me to pick this camera up today, especially after today has just been like steady one after the other, getting beat down. Like, I just can't catch a break today. So I'm not sure how much we're going to film here. We'll probably just leave it as is, get everything all fixed back up, and probably try to do something to the slick top and just kind of make it the whole, I don't know, main priority in this video. But hope you guys understand. I really wanted to show this because this is probably one of the best examples to show you guys how to do anything. But like I said, I'm literally just getting smoked, and it's just hard to be here right now, not just working. I mean, like I said, wrap your belt, throw some vice grips on it, pinch it, and tighten them down, and we'll be back. I don't know, whenever. Face palm. Well, it's the next day, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just, I don't know, I let that get to me too much yesterday. I guess it's a lesson learned. Who knows, God's probably just trying to tell me to, you know, learn to take stuff on the chin instead of taking it to heart and just getting so upset and bothered by stuff. So what I'm doing now, I'm out here with my dog. We're going on a little hike so we can enjoy the weather, get kind of reset, refreshed, and, you know, just feel better about things, because I kind of, yeah, again, I don't know why I let that bother me so much, but sometimes you just got to get out and enjoy the beautiful weather, especially when you're in Indiana and you got beautiful fall, you know, esque everything. Especially on camera, it looks like golden yellow behind me, but really can't beat it. Safe to say, we got that Z done. I'm really bummed that we just were in that mindset yesterday, because that Z is so nice. It would have been the perfect example to show you, but then again, it may not be a realistic example, because more than often, stuff is old, crusty, and nasty. Most people aren't going to be doing stuff on brand new vehicles. That's pretty much what that Z is, and literally we didn't have any holdups. Everything went smoothly, and everything went about as nicely as you could ask. So with that being said, all we have left to do is set ignition timing on it after we let the RTV cure, which will be done tonight, and we can fill it up with coolant, and then we'll be good. Isn't that right, Tana? You like hiking, don't you? You like the reservoir. Literally, all you gotta say is reservoir, hike, or walk to this dog, and she'll do backflips just trying to go. So I'm gonna spend a little bit more time with my dogger. We'll be back probably when we get back to the house. I do want to show you guys the underside of that Z. I actually managed to do some shifter bushings in it too, without pulling the test pipes. I feel really accomplished about that one, because I didn't think it was possible, but on the 1996 chassis, it definitely is. Oh yeah, you looking at me? I don't know how well you guys can see it. I spotted a deer. He's looking at us. See if he'll take off running. Right there behind the end of that rotten stump. Well, we got one down. We usually see at least 3 on this trail. We always suspect it to be the same one. Come on. Tana. Tana, the troll's gonna get you. Yep, that troll's gonna get you. So another reason I'm kind of irritated that I let myself get so irritated is dude's still gonna use it. He's just worried about not having an operational engine like Randall left in the car. So in a nutshell, I'm not saying that he's a bad dude, but you just got to kind of watch out for Randall down in Kentucky area, because he may be a salesman, maybe not so much of an enthusiast that cares for other enthusiasts. Kind of like Ben down in Georgia. Stay away from Waycross, Georgia at all means. And if you guys want to see a video or short why, please let me know, because I've got a full magazine locked and loaded of stuff to warn you about with that guy. But basically, they're going to rehome the engine because they say there's just a couple little spots that don't look too good. And we're going to send it. I'm going to just hook them up with some other stuff to, you know, make his VG experience a little less painful. They are money pits, I cannot lie. But I guess we're done with that VG talk. Let me know in the comments down below, where are good places to hike? I don't care where it's at in the US. Where's your favorite place? This is a pretty big hobby of ours. We love going places just to see new things, and I have no problem driving 3 hours any given day one way just to go check something out, let alone to make a full trip for it. Who knows? Drive my Z out there. We did do that to South Dakota. What? We're not turning around, you crazy. Nothing like some spruce trees and the crunch of the leaves underneath your feet. The simple things. Z's, outdoors, and my family. What kind of Disney fairy tale am I living in? I just seen a raccoon, a squirrel, and a groundhog all side by side until they took off running. Little did they know a black bear is coming. You gonna jump? Jump, go. Good girl. Big chungus. Oh man, talking about a sunset. That is beautiful. I wish the camera could do it justice. You got orange on this side. You move over here and everything turns pink. The water is so stinking still. Ah, I love it out here. Well, I guess we're gonna go finish our hike and we will catch you guys when we get back to the shop, because I really don't feel like we're gonna be able to top anything in this trip with what we got out here on the water. Catch you then. It's the next day, and well, I have fantastic news for you guys. Thankfully, I do not have to have surgery yet. So basically, the tailbone swollenness went away when I took the antibiotics last time. Went into docs, got their actual phone number instead of having to go through all the scheduling crap. So if something does happen, I have an emergency set of antibiotics to get ahead of it before they can get me in for a surgery. So for now, I don't have to go back for any planned or scheduled surgery. I am beyond relieved, especially with the fact that I don't have to wait a month to get in like last time, and I can just get in immediately. Takes a big weight off my shoulders. Here is the Z that we went ahead and finished up. We got it all hooked back up other than the battery and the under tray. So we're doing those last because we actually are going to be setting ignition timing here very shortly after we top up this coolant. What did I do with my coolant funnel? Good job, Caden. We got it all cleaned out. Now, let's find our coolant and begin to bleed this bad boy. So you're gonna be thirsty. So. Oh, of course, we get exploded on. Come on, man. You know, my brother got me this light for night fishing like years ago, and I haven't been fishing in years. So I found a great use for it for now, and that is when I get under the car, since I don't have a light, I can actually see. First and foremost, look at the tensioner on that alternator. That thing is fresh, brand new zinc. So nice. Those AC compressor bolts, brand new zinc. The AC compressor pulley and clutch itself, pure zinc and perfect. Tension rod bracket bolts, perfect. I kid you not, like everywhere that you look under this thing. Power steering bracket right there, perfect zinc. Yeah, there's a little bit of grime here. We did actually clean up the oil pan, oil pump area there, just in case it was the crank seal that we replaced. We cleaned it up so we can see in the future whether or not that the actual oil pan seal is leaking. But seriously, this thing is so stinking nice. Look at that oil pan bolt, perfect zinc. Trans drain plug, perfect zinc. If I was to buy a Z ever again for myself, it's gonna be like this one. Seriously, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The pinch welds are perfect. No damage anywhere, like it is mint. I can't remember if I said anything previously, but when I was taking this apart, I kid you not, I sat under here for like an hour just in awe, looking stuff over and being like, just in shock how perfect it is. That I've never seen something like this in the past 10 years that I've been working on these cars. But apart from my shock, let's get the rear back on the ground and get it where we can put this under shield, which I guess we moved it back there, and we'll be back. We're back inside the car. Fired up, make sure we're in neutral. Mint shifter bushings, check that out. let's grab our timing light, let's hook it up here into our battery so we can get it with a good connection and begin to read our ignition time. Now as we read it while it's idling, it's reading right below 15, but you can't do it when cold because your car actually shoots a different ignition timing when cold to warm the thing up. So we need to let it get up to temp before we can read it. I'm also not really a fan of how fast this thing's firing off and it's showing 2 different marks down there, because that, I don't know, the PTU loop right here, just not a big fan of that. We're probably going to run a spark plug wire down here between the coil pack and cylinder 1 once it's up to temp to get a more accurate reading. After a little bit of time, we got the Z up to temp and we set ignition timing to 10 degrees before top dead center, 15 degrees for anything else but 96 NA. I can't remember if I covered that or not. And we took it for a little mini test drive down to Walmart and back, probably 3.5 miles overall. And this thing pulls so nicely, it's so quiet, so smooth. Oh, I can see why people love these cars so much, especially getting to drive it in its raw form like this. We just got our bucket all loaded up. We're gonna head over to the parts shop in Fairmount to grab a couple parts, maybe sell some stuff, but we really need to start digging into another motor so we can start kitting it up to time it and get it running so we can put it in a Z to sell. I've actually had a couple of you guys reach out to me wanting to buy one, and I gotta put them together first. That's kind of been my big issue. So we're gonna try to start on that today. I won't be able to finish it obviously because it's 4 o'clock and yeah, it's just a late start. Psych, we're actually gonna wait and make that its own dedicated video since we just went to the house yesterday to try to get caught up on parts requests. We found out our parts came in. So now we're gonna jump back in Blade & Z and we're gonna get this thing rest of the way finished up so I can get this out of here. Its rear main seal leak is driving me insane because it has added all of these oil spots to my floor. And it makes me sick. I have no idea what is in this oil causing it to stick to my floor so badly, but I'm over it. So let's get over here, let's get these valve covers off, and let's start with this annoying clean up and reseal process. I can't lie, it's been a couple days. Unfortunately, that is because I ended up getting extremely bad poison ivy rash. And working down inside the bay of the cars and stuff was literally just tearing it up and making it worse. That's why we haven't recorded. We did get all this on. I was wanting to do everything, except I realized I have to get the heater core hoses on back there before we put the plenum and stuff on. Just gives us more room to mess with stuff. Yeah, I just was not having a good time. And I actually had to get a shot in my rear end yesterday at the doctor's to get like a steroid in me to get my body to, you know, reject the poison ivy. So happy birthday to me. So now today we're going to spend my birthday how I would have liked to, other than obviously going out to eat with Gabby and stuff yesterday, going on a hike. It's a pretty solid birthday. Cheers to 29. Probably going to call the video here because when we went to edit our last video, we noticed that this video is way too long, even though I feel like I've done nothing in this video. But with that being said, I do have a little bit of a surprise I kind of want to give you guys a spoiler on. I know some of you guys already may know from my shorts, but I bought a Z. Technically, I bought this thing back in February. I haven't picked it up because the owner wanted to buy it back because he loves the car. But then he got to thinking we could get him in a twin turbo and something a little more enjoyable later on, and I have the best use for the Z. Here we have a 2+2 white on red 300ZX. And we have big plans. I'm not going to spoil nothing for it. You guys probably already seen the short, like I said. You guys got to stay tuned till next video because that's what I'm wanting to work on today, get it started, and maybe start gutting it and taking some stuff out. Stay tuned and we will catch you guys then. But for now, thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below, as it really helps out the channel and helps us grow, which on another hand, this month has been the best month I've ever had on YouTube ever. And I'm absolutely blown away. We've gotten almost 500 subscribers this month alone. And while my goal technically was 6K, originally 5K for this year, but since we hit 3K at the end of last year, I was like, heck, we'll just double it and go to 6. It might be possible, and it's all thanks to you guys, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So, as again, thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.